God's purpose for the earth is revealed in Isaiah chapter 11, verses 6 through 9. There it says, "The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, the leopard shall lie down with the young goat, the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. The cow and the bear shall graze, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. The nursing child shall play by the cobra's hole, and the weaned child shall put his hand in the viper's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea." So as you can see, God's plan was not for us to be killing animals, harming animals, living in a world of violence and sin. In fact, it was for us to live in harmony, to lead the animals as a small child. And as you can see, the waves of the sea, they're abundant, they're endless. And that's the kind of love that God wants us to have. That's the kind of knowledge of Him that He wants us to have. Because if we look elsewhere in 1 John 4, 8 and 16, it says God is love. So if the whole earth has knowledge of God and God is love, that means the whole earth has knowledge of love. And how did the animals gain this knowledge of love? Well, they gain it from us because we are the ones who are instructed to lead them. We have dominion. We are to take care of them. And as it says in the first verse there, that was Isaiah 11, verses 6 through 9 that we read. And in verse 6, it says that a little child will lead the animals. So God tells us in Genesis 1:27 that we're created in God's image, then 28, to have dominion over the animals. And then He says in 29 that we are to eat the fruit of the tree and the green herbs of the ground. So we're not supposed to be eating the animals. That should be pretty clear. And in Isaiah, that passage that we read, we're not eating the animals. The animals are lying down in safety. They're not even eating each other because we're doing the things that God called us to do, to feed them the appropriate food, the green herb that's appropriate for each one. Now, if the whole earth is filled with knowledge of God, knowledge of love, and we are the ones entrusted to teach the whole world this love, including the animals, then what kind of world do you think that God was creating for us? Was He wanting us to live in a world of violence, of killing each other, and those kinds of things? Or do you think He was creating a world for us to live in peace and harmony and love? Well, if you look at Galatians 5:22 and 23, it tells us about the fruits of the Spirit. It says the fruit of the Spirit is love. So love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Against these things there is no law. So if the fruits of the Spirit are all having to do with peace and love and harmony and gentleness, that's His plan. And when we have the Spirit of God in us, that's the kind of leadership of the animals and how we act toward each other. That's the kind of thing that God wants us to do, is to have that kind of love for each other and for the animals. And so if the whole earth is filled with that love, what does that say about the followers of God? Well, as Jesus put it, you will know who His followers are by the love that they have for one another. So it's all about love and showing love for each other. And when it comes to the animals, it's about showing love to them too, to lead them in the ways of love. Because if God is love, and that's the fruit of the Spirit, the first fruit, and we're supposed to be leading the animals, what does that mean? It means that we're supposed to be leading them in love, leading them in the way of love, so that the whole earth, including the animals, will all have knowledge of God as love. Because when love is abound, that's the language that every creature speaks. That's the true meaning of speaking in tongues, is speaking the language of love, that everyone can understand no matter what their native tongue is, no matter what kind of creature they are. Because we're all created in the image of God, the image of love, every person, and part of what that entails is taking care of everyone underneath you. Jesus says, I didn't come to be served, but to serve. And that's what it means to love, is to serve others, serve those who are less fortunate than you. When it comes to animals, to serve animals in love. So this is Craig Westcoat recording for s2p.org.